listen. Okay, first of all, a very good day to everyone. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you so much for being with me today. I would like to thank Trinity College London as well as Regent's University London for the opportunity given to me. Today, I'm here to share my study titled Using Short Films as a Tool to Promote Multicultural Literature Elements, Analysis of Teacher Candidates' Works. So, by the way, I'm Kilili. I'm from Institute of Teacher Education Tun Hussein on campus, Batu Pahat, Johor, Malaysia, right? Okay, first of all, an overview of my study. I will start off with the introduction. This is followed by the statement of problem. Then I will move on to the literature review that I conducted. I will also introduce the proposed treatment, okay, for my study. Next, I will brief about the purpose of the study as well as the research questions set for this study. Then I will move on to the methodology, namely the research design, research participants, research instruments, as well as the research procedures employed in this study. I will move on to discuss the findings and also the overall discussion of the study. And finally, I will make a conclusion. This is followed by a few suggestions for further research in which future researchers can conduct. I will also show the references that I have for my study, right? So the introduction to my study. As being noted by NIETO 2017, the teacher as a socio-cultural mediator needs to reflect the inclusive practices such as building a classroom culture which includes the value of tolerance and respect, okay, valuing diversity and overcoming existing cultural biases. As what we know, okay, the primary school classrooms, the classrooms are becoming more colorful from time to time. As such, those classes in Malaysia, we are having multi-racial classrooms in which the pupils in our classrooms, they are from different races, different ethnics. Hence, to be a teacher who can actually act as a socio-cultural mediator, more often than not, it is definitely a daunting task, okay? And then multicultural literature, as what we know, can act as a window into various cultures and can aid in their understanding of other human beings. This is according to Ayuning Tias and Akun in 2021. Hence, for the Institutes of Teacher Education in Malaysia, in our country, for the TESL teacher candidates, we include the course of multicultural literature so that the teacher candidates can be prepared in a better way before they are being posted to teach in primary school nationwide in order to prepare them to be an adequate socio-cultural mediator, right? Okay, the statement of the problem. Malaysia has evolved into a multicultural society because this is due to globalization. And as what being mentioned, the classroom, it is becoming more colorful in which the multiracial classroom consists of students or pupils from various races or ethnics. And this is the pattern, right? So the Institutes of Teacher Education in Malaysia, we strive to prepare teacher candidates, of course, with good attributes such as being tolerant, respectful, polite, and upright teacher, so that when they are being posted to primary schools nationwide, they will be able to impart all these good values to their pupils. And as what I have mentioned just now, this is definitely a daunting task for all, right? Okay, so in terms of the literature review, the areas conducted, These include the important multicultural literature elements. Altogether, okay, there are 5 multicultural literature elements, okay, namely the first one, social issues. Social issues actually impact many people in the society, and social issues entail many problems which need to be solved. Okay, so in this study, okay, as what being professed here, teaching students to explore literature will encourage them to delve further into the social issues. So by merely telling them the social issues, this might not be adequate, but by having them engage, all right, with the literature, okay, and by having them delve, okay, further, these would be able to let them explore the social issues in a better way. The next multicultural literature element, this is none other than family relationships. Okay, the interactions between the family members, okay, in families, right? According to Amberson et al. 2010, family relationships are intertwined in significant ways at every stage of life, and these bonds serve as a vital source of social connection and influence for people throughout their lives, right? Okay, the next multicultural literature element, it is of belief systems, right? So different people, we have different belief system. This depends on the social environment that person lives in, right? This is the third multicultural literature element. And the fourth multicultural literature element, it is of value systems, right? According to Malovic and Vujika in 2021, ethnic groups with various religious and cultural beliefs, okay, as well as different, often diametrically opposed value system, desire equal opportunity to express their rights and lifestyles as full members of society in liberal democracies. Okay, so this is not easy to be handled by teacher candidates. Definitely later on when they are being posted to primary schools, they need to be equipped with the ability to cater to the needs of different people from different ethnic groups with various religious and cultural beliefs. This is in terms of value systems. Right. Okay. And the final multicultural literature element, it is of gender issues. Okay. Gender issues actually related to a man's and a woman's position, their lives, but more often than not, as what we can see as of now, still, women are still underrepresented in public life. This is according to Sultanpur in 2021. So these 5 multicultural literature elements underpinned my study, okay? And another area in which I research on, that is the use of short films in the field of multicultural literature. So via the literature review conducted, I get to know that there's a scarcity of studies on the use of short films as a tool to promote multicultural literature, and also which closely incorporating the before mentioned, okay, the 5 multicultural literature elements. Right, so hence for this study, okay, this is the proposed treatment in which the amalgamation of digital technologies with the multicultural literature elements, which result in the short film production, okay, for the teacher candidates in the study, in which they produce short films by applying different multi-modal representations, which included text, visuals, okay, like images, okay, audio and so forth, and also signifying one element of multicultural literature. So the digital tools utilized by the teacher candidates, there are a few. So here I introduced to all of you. This is of Filmora. Okay, this is Viva Video. This is CapCut. And they use their mobile phone as well as their laptop to produce the short films, right, in this study. Hence, the purpose of the study, it is to explore the use of short films as a tool to promote multicultural literature elements among teacher candidates. And the research question, it is this: how, if at all, does the use of short films promote the multicultural literature elements among teacher candidates? So the methodology that I utilize for this study, it is a qualitative method of research in which I conducted document analysis technique on the data, namely the 5 short films produced by the teacher candidates, in which I examined and interpreted the data by employing predetermined coding. So altogether, there were 5 codes that I employed, namely the 5 multicultural literature elements, which consisted of social issues, family relationships, belief systems, value systems, and also gender issues. Right. So the participants of this study consisted of 15 teacher candidates. They were of TESL optionists. They were in their first semester, first year for the program of Bachelor of Teaching offered by one institute of teacher education in Malaysia. Right. So this was the research instrument in which for task 1, the teacher candidates, they need to produce the material. Material contributed 10% to the overall mark for their continuous assessment task. So this material referred to the short films that they produced, right? So to further explain the research instrument, so the teacher candidates, 15 of them, they work in group of 3s. So they created a 20-minute short film, okay, as what being mentioned just now. And they also need to make sure that the short film should signify one element of multicultural literature. Okay, so the research procedure was as such. First of all, I taught the multicultural literature elements to all participants via media. So media, short films that I obtained from YouTube. There are many, so I chose the suitable ones. And after that, the participants, they created a plan on how to go about in producing the short film for their task, continuous assessment task. They further wrote a script for their short film. They also determined the collaborations needed. They practiced, they brainstormed the steps on how to go about it. And finally, the filming occurred and the editing part came after that. And finally, the production of their final work, which was of the short film, right? Okay, so altogether, there are 5 wonderful short films produced by the teacher candidates. So I'm going to introduce one by one to all of you, ladies and gentlemen, and also I explore the short films by using the 5 predetermined codes. First of all, let us take a look at the short film with the title of Unseen Misery. Okay, this is the screenshot. And my teacher candidate, Abdul Muhaimin Akmal, okay, acted as Aaron in the short film. Okay, Nurin as Jude, and Sharauda as Peter. Okay, so this short film was explored in terms of the multicultural literature element of social issues. So Peter, in the short film, she experienced body shaming, right? So in order to fit in the ideal label set by people around her, she resorted to many things, right? Which include also stealing, if we watch the short film, stealing money in order to buy makeup things, right? But anyhow, she still couldn't really like fit in the labels which were being set for her. So when something went wrong, she caused self-inflicted injuries to herself, right? So next, the character of Jude, she was young, she had a boyfriend, and one day she found out that she was pregnant. And then her boyfriend left her in the end. So she couldn't stand it. She fainted and fell down, and eventually she hurt herself. Okay, Aaron. Okay, Aaron was a refugee. Okay, he stayed in a country in which he was continuously bullied, and in the end he was overwhelmed by depression. Okay, serious depression. He resorted to committing suicide in the end. Right. So, in terms of social issues, yeah, these are all the important lines that I obtained from the short film, okay, for all the three characters. Peter, okay, said, my family, friends, and even teachers often judge my physical appearance. I was once being told that I will never fit any beauty standard, right? So these important lines reflect the helpless situation Peter was in. Whereby for Jude, I'm still a minor. I can't be a mother. My parents will be so disappointed. Oh God, please help me. How helpless Jude was at that moment, okay, when she got to know that she was pregnant, okay? And for Aaron, I'm looking for sympathy, and yet I don't want any sympathy. I find it hard actually to find reasons to wake up in the morning. The depression that Aaron experienced, it was getting worse and worse, right? So in terms of social issues, okay, the multicultural literature element of social issues, okay, the discussion here, social issues are rampant among teenagers nowadays, which include teenage sex, body shaming, bullying, stealing, depression, committing suicide, domestic violence. Hence, okay, via the short films, the teacher candidates, okay, they got to get more engaged with the social issues in which they themselves, they acted, okay, they feel it, they were in that situation, they could put themselves in the shoes, okay, of all the characters. So I would say that in terms of the engagement, it was more, the teacher candidates, they were more engaged, okay, with the social issues. The awareness was being raised, and eventually, the teacher candidates would be able to pass down the knowledge to their pupils later on when they were being posted to teach in primary schools, right? Okay, short film number 2, this is titled Meliorism. Meliorism basically means that the world can be made better by human effort. This is also a wonderful short film in which I really like. Okay, Iza played the role of a young mother. Asma as the eldest daughter in the family, and Tiva as the youngest daughter in the family, right? So Iza as a young mother, she experienced hardship in raising her children. So basically, this course was being actually taught during the COVID-19 pandemic, okay? So when movement control order was being implemented that time. So as a mother, she experienced hardship in raising children due to the difficulty in bringing home the bread on the table. But anyhow, okay, this mother stayed positive at all times, right? So in order to raise her children. Next, Asma as the eldest daughter, she experienced a reduction in payroll during COVID-19 pandemic. Jobs were scarce, okay, and no choice, okay, her pay was being deducted. So in the end, she decided to reach for help from outside world, okay. And finally, Tiva as the youngest child here, she experienced shortage of food, okay. The parents worked very hard, but also during COVID-19 pandemic, okay, due to the difficulty and so on, okay, so they didn't didn't have enough food, and the youngest child in the family decided to seek for help by raising white flag. So before, during COVID-19 pandemic in Malaysia, there was actually a movement in which for the helpless ones, they could actually raise a white flag in seeking for help from the outside world, right? Okay. So some important lines for the mother. Okay, it is okay if I'm hungry. I just need my kids to survive. This whole pandemic has made me lose my job. Okay, so still, even though the mother, okay, lost her job, she still stayed positive, and she still had the determination to raise her children, right? It doesn't matter if she was hungry, as long as her kids had food to eat. Okay, as the eldest daughter said, job opportunities are becoming limited and my daily wages got cut off. Okay, the difficulty she endured, and she really needed to think of ways of how to get out of this difficult situation. Okay, and then the youngest child said, my God, this is not even enough for 2 days. I don't know how are we going to survive, and how is mom going to handle all this? The youngest child was very worried, okay, because due to the lack of food in the family. All right, so in terms of this short film is being explored, okay, by using the multicultural literature element of family relationship. So pertinent points here: hardships increase for families due to COVID-19 pandemic, but however, see how strong, okay, the mother was. Mothers stay strong in raising their children. Grown-up children strived in bringing income for families, such as the eldest daughter in the family, and young adults seek help from outside world to ease family burden. Everybody was doing their part. So just nice the title of the short film, okay, Meliorism, the world can be made better by human effort. Right, next. I would like to introduce the third short film to the title of Silver Linings. Okay, so this short film, my three teacher candidates, Mitra, okay, Anur, as well as Shakir. Okay, so they acted out their own characters. All right, so in the short film, Shakir experienced pressure of assignments completion, right? So during COVID-19 pandemic, all classes were being done online. Okay, so normally within a semester, basically 6 or 7 courses, the students, the teacher candidates, they had to take. So when came to the submission time, the students also, the teacher candidates also, they faced pressure to complete all necessary tasks to be sent in. However, Shakir, okay, although he noticed that he experienced the pressure, but he opted for ways to reduce the pressure that he faced. He socialized with his friends, he went for playing badminton session and so forth. Okay, then Anur, she experienced pressure of studying online too, day and night. You know, many hours in front of the laptop, attending online classes and so forth. Okay, so she really couldn't stand it. One fine day, she fainted. But then eventually, she noticed that this might not be the best way. She started to spend time with family, you know, talking to them, getting advice from them, and from there, she could overcome, okay, the pressure that she faced, and she could study better. Okay, for Mitra, she experienced financial issues, okay, not enough money for the family. But anyhow, she got the idea of helping the family on how to generate the income by selling her artwork, online, right? So here, okay, Some important lines from Shakir, in the short film. Stress is the trash of modern life. We all generate it. But if you don't dispose it properly, it will pile up, and of course, it will overtake your life. So Shakir didn't let this happen. He managed to balanced, right, and juggle between his life with the assignments that he had to complete. Anur said, I stayed up all night hunching my back and sit in front of the screen typing and writing. So she endured this for a long time, and eventually she noticed that this shouldn't be the way. She should also spend time with the families and so forth. Okay, Mitra, I can't be sitting like this. This is bad. I really need to do something that can give at least a little income to my family. So Mitra was quite resourceful. She managed to came up with an idea of how to generate income for her family, okay, by selling her artwork online, right? So it is important, right? Hardships increased due to COVID-19 pandemic. Really, we felt it, okay? The world felt it. Do not let the day go by without taking some time for yourself. Remember, allocate time for yourself, allocate time for your family, and always believe that when there's a will, there's a way. Right? Okay, nothing is impossible. Okay, now comes the short film with the title of Loneliness, right? So Najwa played the role as Nana, 6 years old. Indrajit, he himself, and Izairo, okay, the character's name was not being mentioned in the short film, okay, and in terms of value system, this short film was being explored in terms of value systems. Nana experienced neglect by family. The parents, okay, both father and mother were very busy working, and they didn't really being able to cater to Nana's needs, and she acted quite impulsively, I would say that. Okay, one fine day, she resorted to committing suicide in the short film. Okay, meanwhile, for Indrajit, he experienced loneliness and hallucinations. He had many friends. Most of his friends contacted him when they needed, help in terms of their assignments, but when Indrajit contacted them, okay, they didn't really cater to his needs and so forth. So he decided to seek for help from online psychiatrists, and eventually he managed to overcome the hallucination problem. Meanwhile, for Izairo, okay, the character in the short film, he experienced cyberbullying, right, from time to time, and he no longer posts any postings on social media, and eventually he also acted impulsively. He committed suicide in the short film, right? So some important lines. This is from Nana. Since I love water, what about me bringing myself to the water without putting the burden on my mom and my dad? She acted impulsively, okay, in the short film. For Indrajit, okay, there was always an intention of people texting me to ask for help or to express their feelings, but nobody asked me what I need or how I feel. As for Izairo, as a cheerful and also friendly boy, surely I used to post a lot in my social media, but not anymore, right? So, pertinent points from this short film, what we can learn: we need to shower loved ones with care and love. Be sensitive of your environment, right? Talk to people who are listening at the same time. If the people whom you are talking to are not listening and they just merely want you to listen to them, perhaps you might want to change, okay, the people who actually you can talk to and who are actually listening to you. And finally, cherish your life, okay? So do not act impulsively, right? Okay, finally, coming to the short film of Sushi Roll, Not Gender Roles, okay? We have Shuhada, Elamati, and also Loga. So in the short film, okay, Nani experienced different upbringing in which, okay, the mother actually asked her to do all the house chores. She was obedient. Okay, she had a brother, but the brother was not asked to do the housework and so forth. Okay, so the difference between upbringing for boys and girls, Nani experienced in her life. Meanwhile, for Vijay, he experienced bullying. Okay, he is basically quite weak. He was not muscular, and he was sort of a timid boy. He liked to wear a pink shirts. Okay, but so society somehow stereotype boys to be need to be strong, need to be muscular, need to be very courageous. So this was not what Vijay had. So he experienced bullying in his life. Okay, and then for Mrs. Arjun Ovatana, she experienced gender bias at her workplace. Okay, although she performed excellently in her work and so forth, somehow, okay, her capability was not being acknowledged. So the gender bias was there. So some important lines, okay, from Nani. I need to do everything alone. Okay, I need to cook and so forth. All right. For Vijay also, okay, because he didn't fulfill, or he didn't have the typical traits that the society fixed for a boy, right? So he was basically feeling so sad after being put down by his friend. And Mrs. Arjun says, this is very important, and always remember what makes you beautiful is being yourself in any situation, and that's what really matters. Do love yourself, respect yourself, everyone. Gender equality is really important. Okay, all right. So some pertinent points that could be taken from the short film. Some parents stereotype the roles of boys and girls. This is quite common, especially in the Asian families, I would say, right? And then people stereotype how men should behave. Men shouldn't cry. Men must be strong. Men must be muscular, must be courageous, and so forth. Not necessarily, okay? They have their weak points too. And oppression of women happens everywhere, right? So we have to strive for a society which is of a more equitable one for everyone, right? Okay. So basically, this is the conclusion that I could make. Okay, the short films of teacher candidates highlights, okay, the 5 multicultural literature elements that are being listed here. And I would say that the use of film production in this study did promote the multicultural literature elements among the teacher candidates, in which, the teacher candidates, they managed to produce very good short films and also very meaningful short films, right? Okay, they really gave a thoughtful content in the short films as what being presented just now, right? Okay, and so this is hoped that the teacher candidates, when they underwent this process, later on when they are being posted to teach in primary schools nationwide, they will be able to pass down the knowledge to their future, to their pupils, and also they will be able to strive to make their classroom a more equitable one for all their pupils, right? Okay, 1 or 2 suggestions, okay, for future research. Okay, apart from the movie maker applications introduced just now, there are many other more. So for future research, researchers perhaps could apply other movie maker applications, right? And these are the links to the short films, the wonderful short films produced by the teacher candidates. I'm so sorry, due to time constraint, I couldn't really project any of the short films to all of you. So perhaps later on, if you are interested, you might want to go to the links provided to really watch, right, the wonderful short films are produced by the teacher candidates. Okay, so yes, okay, okay. Okay, some parting words. Okay, these are the references that I make reference to. Finally, I would like to thank all my 15 TESL teacher candidates, okay, for their hard work, for their commitment in producing the short films which are so meaningful, okay, with meaningful content. Thank you so much to all of them, right? Okay, so that's it for my presentation, okay, due to time constraint, okay. So thank you so much, okay, so I guess that's it, right?